Everyone, welcome back to Reroll, or 5 to 10 minute commentary on a game we just got finished getting trounced on. Not
trounced.
We actually won by the
Any victory is a good victory.
Okay, tell it to the person that went insane. Anyways, we just got finished playing. We just got finished playing Cthulhu That May Die, which is the latest Kickstarter that released from CMON. Anybody want to go first? Ivan?
Since I killed Cthulhu, I'll go first.
Like, okay, let's be clear. You put the finishing blow with a little knife.
There was a little bit of help.
If anybody did major, how much points of damage did you put on it in one turn?
I killed
I killed the first one. I killed the
I don't think I did anything.
We all did a huge chunk.
Did
I also cleared a room.
So, yeah.
I did fine.
It wasn't real huge, but it was fine.
Sure. My little helpers here.
If you guys go back and watch the first play, basically it's a very kind of like fighty kind of.
You're the guy in Smash Brothers who's like, "Oh, this guy's almost dead. I'll go finish him off and get the point."
XP.
Yeah.
XP. Yeah. Anyway, but no, this gentleman over here had a room full of things.
Yeah, I was like,
and he just Kung Fu mastered all of them. It was just done. Anyway,
good.
so Ivan.
All right. So I enjoyed the game a lot. It was very easy to jump into. We didn't refer the rulebook too much. We didn't get confused too much, as we usually do. It felt towards the end, I think some people might have a little bit of a problems with the end, but it felt towards the end thematically appropriate of right down to the wire.
Yeah. Go ahead, sorry, finish.
Yeah, right down to the wire that if you don't succeed right now, everything's over.
And that's pretty typical of every, like Mansions of Madness, Arkham Horror. Things gets worse. You want to get as much. The only thing I had an issue with was the particular trigger at the very end of that card of going, hey, you leveled up, you got all prepared and stuff like that, and now we're going to hose you in a way that just like you didn't see coming.
Yeah.
Cthulhu
teleports all the way away from where we might have been.
Right, and I mean, if you don't want to see spoilers, I mean, don't go watch the episode, or at least cut it off before the very end. But it just basically set it up so there's like, holy, this is a complete like hose you, and we got it, but barely,
just barely.
And what I didn't like was the feeling of helplessness, not being able to do anything. It's not. We were all dying in turns that weren't ours, so there was nothing you could do. Even though you might have a card that goes, okay, I can help here, I can do this. There was nothing you could have done to stop it, right? It was just a mathematical, it's not going to get back to my turn. I'm going to go insane before that. And that's kind of
But that's why I thought other people might dislike that, but it did give that real sense of urgency. It's now or never.
I kind of felt that way all game.
Yeah.
But I have it built into me. It's like, hurry up. Get to the objectives. Do them now. Don't level. Go. Right.
Yeah.
It's been ingrained in me. Anyways.
And speaking of these difficult games where you don't usually win, when you do win, it feels so good. I love games that are out to get you, and this one is definitely out to get you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would say a yes and a yes. I would buy the game. I would play it again.
Mm-hmm.
There's different elder gods that you're going to be dealing with that you can change the flavor, even if it's the same map. It seems like it's got a lot of replayability. It's difficult, so even if you know what's going on, like we know now Cthulhu's final form, we might have a little bit better planning, but it's not really going to help you too much.
No, the only advantage would be that you would stage somebody, potentially, the fire guy, to go, he's going to jump over there, so that's the advantage you would get, right?
But all the planning that you do in this, because at the end of your turn, after you're done with your actions, the board changes a lot. So your planning you can't really outthink it because there's a lot of randomness that's going on.
No, and that worked against me a couple of times. Going, I'm in this room, I'm going to kill everybody. Everybody went away.
You're like, this will be great. They're gonna get me. I'm gonna take it out, and then they just left you. Yeah. So I'm a yes and yes. Great game. Really liked it.
Shelby.
So it's a really intricate game. Really liked it. Really enjoyed it. However, while yes, I would definitely play it again, I probably would not add it to my collection just for the point that this is not a campaign game. It does not carry over from one session to the next. Yeah, the
They call them
miniatures are
seasons,
great.
but
Yeah.
one season to the next it doesn't.
It doesn't carry over is my point. Like the characters don't evolve with the game. You are getting a lot of miniatures, but you also have to then like get different sets to get a lot of the miniatures. Like you're talking about, Mike, how the base game only comes with 2 of the Elder God sets. So there's more to buy. It seems like a lot of investment for me that I wouldn't be getting as much out of.
More to give you that replayability.
Yeah, so it's a yes. I would definitely play it again. It was fun. If Mike brought this on a random day and was like, "Let's play this," I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, let's play it." But I probably would not add it to my collection personally.
A yes and a no. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I had already ordered a copy of the Kickstarter one, so I'm gonna be like in Mike's boat of having a metric ton of stuff to start off with. What was in the unspeakable box, Mike, that won't be coming out later kind of situation? What was in there?
All of the extra investigators most of them are Kickstarter specials.
Okay. So you're going to be looking at a more limited pool.
The Elder God boxes in there will obviously be released at some future date as an Elder God expansion. But
so you'll be able to add
Kickstarter
more
exclusives were things like the trays and the add-on investigators.
Those trays I liked.
Yeah, but those are the Kickstarter versions. So unless you got into that and before people start asking the store, we are currently all sold out. So unless CMON's got, because usually they have some leftovers to take care of, like damaged shipment or something like that.
They also had 3 lost episodes, which I don't know if they're Kickstarter exclusives or not. Probably, but it's pretty obvious that the Elder God boxes will be released at some date in the future.
Yeah, because there we have Black Goat. It's another Elder God.
Right, but the same kind of boxes. There's 2 of them in there. There's Dagon and Yog Sothoth.
Cool. All right. So, anyways, back to the game. Unlike Arkham Horror or some of the other, it was easy to jump in. Like, I was like, Mike, I think I got this. Like, let's skip it. But Mike reads the rules, and that's fine, right? But I was like, yeah, we got this. Let's go. Let's go, and see what happens kind of situation. There was only, I think, once or twice that were like, oh, shoot, because you get eager and you want to go, but you can easily skip a step, which is important to follow, right? I mean, without that, because it changes a lot what happens on the board.
Seriously help you or hurt you.
Yeah. So I would definitely play it again. I'm curious to see. So there's a gigantic Cthulhu, which we didn't play with. It's an expansion. It's the Rising expansion. I'm curious to see how that plays because this giant baby-sized Cthulhu, and we'll play with it again. We'll do a first play with that. Is an expansion and a playable piece. The board itself, the base is the board, or I haven't quite grasped how that fits in.
What came with the miniature?
A little packet that I haven't opened up yet. There's a campaign expansion in there. But the board itself is a playable board. That miniature has a place in this campaign. I just don't know what exactly it does.
You reminded me.
Well, the stuff that's with it will tell you.
Yeah, sure. I haven't opened it yet.
You reminded me of my one knock on it, and I said it in the game. All the boards there, you got all the miniatures, and you're trying to keep track of the health of everything, and it just falls off, and it's a little bit of a pain.
So the counters are a pain for 2 reasons. One, counters everywhere, which okay, fine. If I were to do one knock on this game, it is beautiful component wise. I like the trays. I like all this stuff. The boards aren't cluttered. There's a lot of space to put all your stuff on there. And with I don't know how well these will work without the trays because it's fairly easy to bump your markers by mistake, right? Kind of situation. But with the trays, you have welds that they go in so the marker doesn't move. My trouble with the components is those tiles are mega small.
Yeah.
And because the monsters follow you and stuff like that, I mean, can I see one of the small rooms real quick? If we have any.
Just use that as an example. Still gonna be
but a small room will be something like this. Like literally, this is the size of a small room. And when I look at that and I have to fit a miniature that is like, a big miniature and then me and then the 3 cultists.
Yeah.
So, it becomes a bit of a...
This is 2 rooms, this 1 square.
Yeah. And I get how more cardboard, bigger sizes increase the cost of shipping, all that good stuff. Long story short, that's my only knock on the game is the amount of counters and miniatures don't seem to want to fit what's going to end up in that space. I would definitely play it again. I am with you. I love campaigns, and I really wish there was a campaign mode. So maybe if they later release some kind of campaign mechanism, perhaps for like organized play or something like that, that would be kind of cool, right? Although, as close to the wire as we came with this one, as bad as we got hurt, how do you deal with the character that went insane? Does he pick up an extra card?
Right.
And then,
or
Well, I mean,
there's so many
thematically-
investigators. Like there's other games before that we've seen before where your investigator dies and you just pick up a different one.
sure, but you
You
wanted
know,
to.
so-
I want continue. I want my investigator to get better, right? So how do you?
So I guess
how
it
do you
wouldn't
fix it?
be like RPG style where you would improve your guy, because at the end of this you're going back to the asylum and you're resetting, right? They're taking
Right.
your stuff away. They're helping you get better, but there could be effects to the world. So if you stop this, then you get a bonus at such
I
and
think
such.
even if they just did a like, this is the story, and if you
Yes,
fail here,
but
you
it-
get to do this
yeah.
story, but if you win here, you get to do that story. That
Yeah,
could be
that
even
would be-
enough
something
yeah.
to do, right? Kind of situation. So, anyways, that's my take. Definitely, I'm gonna add it to my collection because even if you just want the plastic miniatures, they're
Pretty cool.
great. So.
They're the kind of plastic that doesn't break easily either, which is good.
Yeah.
Josh,
I would play it again. I very much enjoyed this game. I like the Cthulhu
Mythos.
theme. Yes, thank you. That's what I was looking for. I really enjoyed our game, and I didn't like the mechanic at the end where it's like we're all doing really well because I was like fully healed the entire time, and I had a resurrection no matter what.
he's playing the Mad Monk. They just dies
Yeah,
and comes
that
back.
thankfully I didn't have to use, but no, that mattered because as soon as my turn ended, these new triggers now went off. That was like, doesn't matter, you're not getting another turn. Like,
The only reason
Yeah,
why you
you're
didn't
just
go
going
insane
crazy.
because it ended there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she went insane in his
Yeah.
turn. Then it went to him. If he wouldn't have killed Cthulhu, I would have gone
You guys
insane.
both would've
You
I
would
would
have
have
gone
been insane.
insane.
He would have been insane too, and
And then
he
we're
would have
back
been
to
insane.
him.
And he would have been insane too.
Oh no, and we're lost
yeah,
the game. Right,
yeah. After
right.
his turn, it was game.
Anyway.
Because even
I
without
did
the
have 2 more actions to stab him. so.
actually we wouldn't have gone insane because we looked at the mythos cards. You would have triggered the final movement over.
Okay, so it was your turn or not then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anyway, so what's play it again?
I would play again. I probably would not add this to my collection. It's not something that I normally buy. I am looking forward to Bloodborne, but we won't talk about that here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's fine. Mr. Mike, sir.
yeah, so the only game effect that I think is missing from this that would ordinarily be available in most Arkham style games is the ability to heal sanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I kept waiting for something to pop up.
So obviously they've designed that last little stage of Cthulhu to, if you haven't got it set up, you will end up.
If you got too greedy, you were going to pay for it.
You saying that, I was looking at the characters. There's a couple that have this ability called toughness. They have instead, you may reduce wounds taken and loss of sanity by 1 when you get attacked or roll.
But they have no
for
way to
firing.
heal it.
Right, you can-
you
No,
can
Yeah,
you
but
can
you can-
offset it
Yeah.
a little bit with some people, but
And it gets to a
there's
point
no
where you
way
can
to
it by
reduce
any
your
source.
sanity. And I can see why, because they've designed thresholds that
Right.
once you
Here's
get them,
the
now
one I
what they have to
was-
tell people to
I
do
was-
is
yeah.
reverse your effects.
So you lose
And
ability.
you get
so,
a lot of reverse effects, then you start taking things off, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
because basically, for those of you guys that are gonna watch the first play, that insanity track is your level up track too. The
Yeah,
more
so they've
insane you
tied
go,
it-
the
they've-
better abilities you
they've
get.
tied it into that. So
Yeah.
As they say in the opening dialogue, we're fueled by
Yes,
madness.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's something to be recognized, and well, the impulse, and I saw it pretty much in everybody
Yeah. Let's get more.
but
let's get
me,
more.
was take all the sanity so you can level up.
You still
I
got
would-
to the same point though.
No,
Yeah.
I was definitely behind everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, I mean, just attacking a monster could potentially get you up in insanity. It's just the way
Yeah.
it is.
Well, yeah, but I saw lots of people. Oh, I'll take those 3 sanity, and you had rerolls available.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
I
blew-
spent a lot
I
of the
blew
game
to
without
the-
any rerolls, so I
Yeah,
was
so
like,
I blew here purposely to get the extra green dice because I figured it was going to be helpful, which I feel like it was.
Well,
But then I slowed down on the sanity track after that.
yeah, there is a certain objective to leveling up and increasing an
You
ability.
gotta find the sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, just so you know, there's 6 episodes in the base game. We'll just talk about the base game, just to give you kind of a concept of whether that could be worth it or not. And 2 Elder Gods. And the way the system works is you pick an episode, so you have 6 episodes, and then you pick an Elder God. So each episode can be played twice with the base game. 2 different Elder Gods. Now the map of the session will be the same. So if we played session 1 again with Hastur, the map setup will be identical to what we just used, but it will be with Hastur and his crew and his objectives, and our objective will undoubtedly be the same, destroy 4 out of 5 of the lab tokens, because we know what the episode says.
Yeah.
But we don't know what the Elder God will do. Now, if you take that and extend it into the stretch goal box with Unspeakable Oath, if you happen to get that, that's 2 more Elder Gods. So now you can play 4 Elder Gods on every session. Okay, let's take it one session further, and you buy season 2.
So you got more
6
sessions.
more episodes.
Right.
And if you buy Black Goat of the Woods, that's a 5th. So we're talking about, and 3 lost episodes. So we're talking about 15 episodes times 5 Elder Gods.
Right.
75 different games.
Well, yeah.
Some of them are duplicated by you being on the same map, just a different god. So
Right, but the god introducing different effects and different type of monsters and
so that's
replayability.
Huge replayability.
Yeah.
Huge. There isn't. You can't.
No,
I mean, the only one game that comes to mind that has that many plays out of the box is Gloomhaven. That many different actual plays.
My big thing with it is like what she said. That it's fine. It's just you're playing one-off.
No
scenarios.
campaign though.
Yeah,
it's all one-off. It's all one-off. So you've got to be. It's a game night type of a thing. Yeah. It's not. I mean, sure, you could sit down and we could say, oh, we're going to play Dawn to Dusk and play all 6 episodes against Cthulhu and see how many times we can beat him.
Yeah.
You could do that kind of a thing and have a Cthulhu campaign in which you see how many times you win, lose, and call it a whole overall arching campaign against Cthulhu. But as usual, the miniatures are excellent. The sculpting detail is phenomenal. Kind of makes you want to buy a second set a lot of times just to stack up on Cthulhu miniatures if you're into it. And I am. This way. So obviously I'm a yes because I bought the game.
You already bought it.
It's my game. It was my game, and I would definitely play it again. Anybody wants to play it, just ring me up. I'll bring it in.
So he'll
we'll play
again. He's going to buy another copy. Is what he said.
That's right. That's a good copy. No, right now we're trying to get him to buy the big giant Cthulhu because he didn't pick it up with his first.
I think
I'd rather have a second copy of the game.
To your point
or
of
more
all the different gods, and so if you have everything, you spent all the money, you collected everything, and your point to the continuity. So thematically, we killed Cthulhu. So we take him out. He's no longer a god we're going to
the idea is
the next one is so he's no longer.
You obviously can't do that because you can't play 15 scenarios and there aren't 15 Elder Gods.
Yeah.
So the theme, by the way, is that we screw up the cultists are always trying to summon, right? I mean, we live in a town where basically there's 1 million cultists, and every day you wake up and they're doing a new ritual. Like, here we go again. But the idea is that we interrupt the ritual and screw it up just enough that when the Elder God gets summoned, he's vulnerable and mortal, so we can kill him, which
he wasn't when he showed
all
up.
Scenarios, or is that just the scenario we played?
That's just the game. So every elder one will be able, because most of these elder ones you can't kill.
The rule is the same for all games.
Okay, so we're always killing the god.
When it shows up, it's either vulnerable or not vulnerable based on the session's goals.
Right.
So if we'd have got the 4 labs before he actually turned red and showed up, he would have showed up immediately.
Yeah.
Because he didn't like being disturbed.
It's like, why you...
And then you would have had a lot more time to deal with it.
Yeah, we have more time to...
Well, there is that, isn't there? Yeah.
But we had so many monsters to paw our way through. It was crazy.
They bunched up on us.
We would have had more time on the track to deal with them. We would not have had more time sanity-wise to deal with them.
It depends.
No, your sanity is limited by what you experience.
But
and
sort of nice
you can
thing
manage
there
your
is,
rerolls.
now I kind of get the like, aha, you guys were smart. You went straight for the labs, destroyed all 4 labs, and you think you got all this time. We're starting to give you that pressure of last minute.
Yeah.
You know.
So you still get the good feel.
You get the like, oh no, hurry up. So yeah, cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. I think any other closing thoughts? We're good. Yeah. I think most of us we liked it. Anyway.
Oh yeah.
So okay, cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. I gotta stop it.